Hi guys, so I'm back again, and today I thought I would make a video giving you all advice on boys and relationships with boys. So I'm turning into like a basic YouTube channel now. So first off, I just want to apologize for the coffee machine in the background. I'm not gonna stop making coffee. So I'm sorry if you hear it. And my dog is also running around the house right now. So if you hear his little claws on the floor, then I do apologize for that. I'm sorry. So anyways, I just want to start off by saying that I go on Instagram a lot, and I'll put my username in the description below so you can follow me there. And I wanted to just say that, like, I see a lot of girls, you know, on Instagram and stuff that are like, oh, love is dead, or da-da-da-da-da, whatever. And they use these fucking sad-ass emojis, like, blah, blah, blah. And so, I don't know why, like, they're telling people don't try to get into a relationship with a guy. Because, and I'm gonna say it, just because you had a bad experience with a relationship that you were in doesn't mean that other people can't find happiness in a relationship. And I'm not saying that you have to be in a relationship to find happiness, because you can find happiness all on your own. You just have to have the willpower and the courage and the strength to do it. So don't go telling people, oh, don't even bother getting into a relationship, you guys, because love isn't real anyways. Trust me, I know. Like, no, you don't. You just, what you know is that you just had a bad relationship. And you can have multiple bad relationships, but eventually you'll find one that works out for you and the other person. And, you know, that's when things start to work out a little bit better. I mean, you have to, I think to find a relationship that works for you, you have to be willing to put in the effort to make that relationship work. Because, you know, it's like friendship. Friendship is a two-way street. Just, this is that, but like on another level, obviously. So a relationship, a good, working, healthy one, is also a two-way street. Like, you have to actually put in some effort. You can't just expect that person to do everything for you, and I mean, at some point they're gonna want you to, like, reciprocate that, you know? So I'm just gonna say, don't expect a relationship to work if you're not going to be willing to actually put in the time and the effort into it. My next point is, if you like a guy and you express to him that you like him, or you drop him little hints, guys aren't always going to get those hints. And I know a lot of girls who, you know, they think that, like, oh, well, I dropped a hint for this guy to show him that I like him. Why isn't he dropping a hint back to me, or why isn't he even acknowledging me at all? Guys don't really get the hints that we drop sometimes. It's frustrating, yeah, but you gotta realize boys are boys. Sometimes girls don't get hints. Like, sometimes my boyfriend will drop a hint here or there about something, and I'm like, well, I'm just completely oblivious to it. So, you know, don't stress out about that if a guy doesn't get a hint that you're trying to drop to him. And also, if you express to a guy that you like him, and say he's like a really nice guy, and he doesn't want to hurt your feelings, but he doesn't feel the same way about you, don't go trying to force yourself on him. And I'm not saying that in, like, a sexual way, you know? I'm trying to say that just, like, in general, don't force yourself onto anyone. In a sexual way or an emotional way, whatever you want to call it. You know, if someone doesn't like you, you can't make someone like you. And if they don't love you, you can't make them love you. You can love them as much as you want, and you can like that person as much as you want, But as long as you're trying to force yourself upon a person emotionally, they're not, I mean, I'm not going to say that they're 100% not going to ever get into you, but chances are they won't. At least in my experience. Well, I mean, I've never forced myself on anyone in any way, so, you know, just, if someone doesn't feel the same way about you, don't stress out about it, because eventually you will find someone that feels the same way about you that you do about them, if that makes sense. You shouldn't go wasting your time on, like, trying to get this guy that obviously doesn't want you, or that obviously doesn't feel the same way about you. Also, another thing is, if you are in a relationship, if you love that person, and you're sure that you love that person, tell them that. Tell them that you love them. And if they're the kind of person that doesn't really say I love you, you know, in the first few weeks of a relationship or whatever, you know, that's fine. But if you love a person, tell them that you love them. Because, you know, this might sound a bit cliched to some of you, but tomorrow's never promised. Tomorrow is not a given. I mean, you could walk out of your house and, you know, get hit by a car or something. I mean, I'm not trying to scare you or make anyone, you know, have an existential crisis or anything, but, you know, I mean, anything could happen, literally. I mean, you know, the world can end tomorrow. I mean, so, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would hate to die without telling the people that I love them. So if you're in a relationship with someone and you love them and you haven't told them yet, tell them. Tell them that you love them every day. Even if it's just once or twice a day, you know, just do it, because you never know when it could all be over. And also, another point that I really wanted to make was about toxic relationships. So, and boy do I know about toxic relationships. So, it was, yeah, in 9th grade, so my freshman year of high school, and I joined a club, and it was an after-school club, and I met this boy in it. I met, let's call him Jacob. That's not his name, but we're just gonna call him Jacob. So, I remember, you know, and I said, hi, what's your name? And, you know, we met and we started talking, and we got to get to know each other more, you know, and eventually we had started dating. And so, I have mental health issues. I'm not gonna go too deep, too far into them, because I don't want to trigger anybody. Maybe I'll make a whole nother video about that. If someone comments that they want another video about that, then yeah, I'll do another video about that. But that's another video. And Jacob also had a lot of mental health issues. His were way more severe than mine. I mean, it was to the point where, I mean, it was just really bad. I'm not gonna dive into it because I don't want to, I mean, I guess I can't really, like, expose him if I'm not saying the same, but still, I don't want to disrespect that. And so anyways, it was December 8th of 2017. Yeah, so it was 2 years ago, and I went into a mental facility. I can make a whole nother video about that too. In fact, I think I will. Yeah. So, and anyways, when I got back, so in this one, I don't know how it is in every mental place, but like at the one that I went to, we couldn't have our phones. I would think that at any mental hospital, you wouldn't be allowed to have your phone because, you know, social media and all that stuff. That's what causes a lot of things these days, mental health wise, causes a lot of mental issues. But, you know, I went into this place, and when I got back out, I had a swarm of texts. You know, I had some texts from my friends, you know, wishing me well and stuff on my, you know, recovery journey or whatever. Because on the way there, I had posted, you know, hey guys, I'm going to be taking a mental health break for a while. Because I didn't want to say, yeah, I'm going into a mental hospital. Not that you should be ashamed of it, because you're getting help, and that's nothing at all to be ashamed of. But at the time, I was, because it was my first time ever going to one of these places, and I didn't know what to do. And anyways, And when I got out, there were a bunch of texts from Jacob from the day before I had gotten out. So I'd missed like a whole week of school. And you know, I came back on, I think it was like a Tuesday or something. Anyways, I walked up to one of my friends and I was like, yo, where's Jacob? Because like I hadn't seen him all day long, and usually we would meet up. I mean, you know, we always met up in school. And so she was like, you didn't hear about it? Like, you didn't know? And I was like, hear about when? She was like, he went to mental hospital. And I was like, which one? And it ends up being that he went to the same one that I was in, except he, I mean, you know, obviously he was admitted into the boys section, and I was admitted into the girls. And so, I mean, and that went on for a few different times. Because when he got out, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this. Before I went in, he had gone in. So he went in, and then when he got out, I had gone in. And I've only been to one of these places once in my life, and I'm trying to keep it that way. But anyways, and then, you know, once I'd gotten out, he had gone back in. And then once he had gotten out, I had been thinking about it for a while then, because he was gone for a week after I had gotten out, and so then I fell into like a deeper depression because I was like, is this because of me? Like, did me being so sad for that week that I was in the mental hospital make him so sad that he tried to, like, you know, hurt himself or something? So I thought that, you know, it was my fault. And I don't know why. Looking back on it now, I don't know why I thought it was my fault. But I thought it was my fault. And so anyways, you know, when he got out, I was like, all right, look, this isn't working. He was like, well, what do you mean it's not working? And I was like, because look, Jacob, like, this, I'm not going to be in a relationship where we're in and out of mental hospitals together. Like, just, no, I'm not doing that shit. Like, that makes no sense at all to keep doing that. Like, when I'm trying to better myself, why would I want, as much as I loved him at the time, you know, why would I want to be with you when you're making it harder on me? And I'm not trying to sound selfish, I'm just trying to sound like, I mean, because I wanted to help myself. I still do. And honestly, if I had known that any of that was going to happen, I would have gone back in time and been like, yo, girl, don't mess with this man, just don't. And so, and I mean, you know, and I did love him, and we were in love, but it was toxic. And so if you're in the point is, after like 5 minutes of just ranting about this one relationship, you know, if you're in a relationship like that where you're both either, I mean, whether you're like literally in and out of, you know, mental places, or you're just, both of you are like really depressed or really like stressed out, like, you don't necessarily even have to break up, like, take a break or something. So, you know, that's just my little take on that. If you're in a bad, and also, speaking of like bad situations, you know, I just want to say, I know that this topic is like really touchy for a lot of people, so trigger warning, it's gonna talk about abusive relationships, so if you're triggered by that, then please click off this video. But if you do want to hear it, then here it is. So if you're in an abusive relationship, I don't care how old you are, like, if you're currently in one and you haven't told anyone about it yet, or even if you were in one and you still haven't told anyone, please, motherfucking god fucking shit, please tell somebody about it, because, like, no one deserves to be treated that way. No one deserves to be treated like shit or garbage, whatever the fuck you want to call it. If you're in a relationship where there's any sort of domestic violence, you need to get yourself out of that immediately. And I know that that can sound scary for a lot of people, and this is boys and girls and anything in between, whatever the fuck you identify as, if you're in an abusive relationship, you gotta get out of it, because I have seen so many news articles, so many reports on the news about, oh, well, this person was in an abusive relationship and the abuse got so bad to the point where the other person killed them, whether they meant to or not. And I know I keep saying it, I keep repeating it, but that's because I mean it. If you're in an abusive relationship, please get out of it. There's always someone that you can talk to about it, because, you know, these days you have mental health crisis hotlines, you have those chat hotlines and stuff. You can call 911 even, and I know that, you know, some people might say to themselves or think, oh, well, it's 911, you know, it's for an emergency, or it's for, you know, a medical emergency. This being in an abusive relationship is a literal threat to your life. You've got to get out of that shit right now, as soon as you can, fucking fast as all hell, because you don't know, like, tomorrow something could happen where, you know, someone gets mad and someone gets hurt, more hurt than you already are, because, I mean, even if it's just mental abuse or verbal abuse, get out, because mental abuse will turn into verbal abuse, and verbal abuse can turn into physical abuse, and that can turn into a whole nother situation. So please, if you're in a abusive relationship, or you're being threatened or harassed or beat or anything, leave that person as soon as you can. And if you're the abuser, then, I mean, I would hope that you're not an abuser, but if you are, then you need to take a step back and reevaluate everything that you've ever done in your life. But yeah, if you're a victim, you have got to call someone. I'm gonna look up some hotlines after I'm finished with this video and put them all in the description for you, so if you need any of those, please use them. I'll try and find ones for different countries, but I doubt that my channel will get that big, but if it does, you know, you can always just come back to this video and look at those. So that's pretty much it for now. And I mean, you know, if I come up with some more advice to give you guys, then I will probably film a second video on it. But if I don't, then that's it for that. My next video will probably be whatever I mentioned earlier. I have to go back and look at the footage and see. But if it's not one of those, even though it probably will be, if it's not one of those, then it will be advice on girls from a girl, even though I look like a man. So this is nearing 19 minutes, so I'm going to shut it off, and I'll talk to you guys later. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever the hell you want. You can dislike, I really don't care. I mean, I do, but I don't. So yeah, thanks for watching, bye.